going #1 overall to the Jaguars last night. He was the first of 5 Georgia defensive players to go in the first round. That sets a record in the modern era of the NFL draft. Shannon, what you think? Did Jacksonville get the best of the 5 in Walker?
Yeah. I think Jacksonville went with what Walker can become. I believe Aiden Hutchinson probably right now is the better player.
I agree.
But what he can become. But Skip, like I said, when you watch his tape and you watch him perform at the combine, Trayvon Walker should have been Will Anderson Jr. for Alabama. 31 jumps off the screen. Now, I don't know what he's going to run at the combine next year, Skip. I don't know how strong he is or how high he can jump. But you watch that kid's motor.
He just makes plays all over the field.
That was the best defensive player in college football last year.
I agree.
Better than Hutchinson, better than wwalker, better than any of these guys that went in the first round.
And what did you see from my man Micah Parsons when he was at Penn State 2 years ago?
You could just see it. You just like, man, this joker look explosive, man. Look how sudden he is. And then he gets to the combine and runs 4.4. You're like, okay. You look at the measure, you look at the jumping, you look at the 3 cones, you look at the short shuttle. You're like, okay, he matches. Skip, 6'5", 272, running 4.5, does not match 4 sacks in a season.
No.
Jordan Davis, Skip, Jordan Davis is basically a 2-down player. He's tremendous at what he does. He's a 2-down player.
He is.
But it's always hard, Skip, when you got this many, and then, Carter, Jalen Carter, that rotation, think about that, that's the rotation. N'Kobe Dean was the Buckets Award winner, and he ain't even got it. He ain't get drafted yet.
And trust me, he's about to go. As soon as they say go again, he's going to go.
This is the first, Skip, the first 5 picks were defensive players. This is the first time since 91. 91, 6 picks. Russell Mallon went #1, Eric Turner, Bruce Pickens. Mike Kroll came to Denver. He was Rookie of the Year. Todd Light and Eric Swan. So it's gonna be there's some Pro Bowlers, but there wasn't no Hall of Famers in that big draft. I believe, Skip. I believe not only do you draft on what do we see, how high is this guy's ceiling? Skip, if this kid can put it together with those measurables, he should be good. But I do think he's the better of the Georgia players. Yes.
I do not.
You like what?
I told you yesterday. I watched a lot of Georgia because they were all-time on defense, and this is why. You just saw why.
They had a historic defense.
Historic. And yet, as I watched, not one time did I say, wait a second, that Trayvon guy, he never leaped off my screen like Micah did for you, or you can do Will Anderson. Any of these players who just leap.
Or Jadeveon Clowney his junior year.
Oh my God!
When they made him go sophomore year, sophomore year.
He was unblockable.
That's what you wanted to see from this guy here going #1 overall. Jadeveon Clowney's sophomore season.
Trayvon Walker was single blocked this whole year because he had to be, because there's just too much firepower. It's everywhere. You just mentioned Jordan Davis and Quay, and it's just they're coming from everywhere.
Devontae Wyatt.
Right? Yeah, and Devontae Wyatt, he actually fell all the way down to where? 28 to Green Bay. Okay. So the point was that I fell out of my chair because I just didn't believe that they would leave Aiden Hutchinson for the hometown team to be able to go from Michigan down the highway to Detroit, right? And they did. And I'm not saying that I told you yesterday, Aiden Hutchinson is more intangible than tangible, because I just don't know if he's supremely athletic and explosive enough to live up to his motor and intangibles, but you don't bet against his motor. He will, as he said last night, I will give you every ounce of my being every second of every game, and he will. So this is silly me, but I mentioned this yesterday. I'm the biggest fan of N'Kobe Dean, and he didn't get drafted.
He didn't get drafted.
And it's
because he doesn't have the Skip. He's small and he's slow.
I got it.
Not slow. But you know,
not slow.
The measurables that you see these other guys. You see Walker. You see Skip. Jordan Davis is 350 pounds and he's running 4.8. That man, that size shouldn't run that fast.
No, and he will anchor that Eagles line. And we're about to talk about them in a minute, because they just keep getting better and better and better while Dallas doesn't get better. So the point is, I'm a N'Kobe Dean fan, and I kept thinking somebody will take him mid first. No. Wait. Quay went? And then what about Devontae. Oh, wait. He went at 28?
Yeah.
Really?
Right.
And wait, we got all the way down. And then the one that just blew my mind was Belichick at 29 takes Cole Strange, who Mel Kiper had at, I think, 49, or maybe deeper than that.
Yeah.
And it just blew my mind that Belichick, that was the biggest reach of the night by far.
But Skip, the thing is that because he has those Super Bowl, but Skip, he's done that. You look at some of the reaches, you look at some of the picks they made, that wide receiver from Arizona State that hadn't, you got upset about, he got to make that play.
Got to make that play.
Skip, I mean, that's what Coach Belichick has done, with the exception of maybe a handful of picks. Coaches, he swung and missed a lot. But all you got to do is get Gronk and Tom Brady right. You're pretty good.
You're pretty good. This was the highest drafted UT Chattanooga player since
T.O.
Our man T.O. This was high, man, because what was T.O. Third round? And Cole Strange out of Chattanooga, he goes 29th overall to Belichick, and people just fell out of their chairs around the league. Like, what?
Yeah.
What did you see that nobody could see? Okay, so back to my friend Mel Kiper. This was as scathing a criticism as I've ever heard from Mel after a first overall pick. And it was of the Trayvon Walker deal. And he said, I'm going to read the paragraph that he posted. When word first leaked out that the Jaguars were targeting Walker, I went back to the tape to see if I was missing something. Right. I felt the same way.
Yes.
Like, what am I missing?
Yes.
Keep going from Mel. He has intriguing physical traits, of course.
Yes.
But where were his one-on-one pass rush wins? I just didn't see him dominant in any game, nor did I.
Thank you.
Because you had the stat yesterday that his stats for his career
is Hutchinson
for last year. What? And then Mel had the capper here about what he called the head scratcher of the whole first round, that he said that the reason he's most leery is that he's the first player selected #1 overall in the common draft era who never made an all-conference or an all-American team in college. Trayvon Walker never made all-conference. He never did, and he went one.
You're
doing what?
Skip, you base everything on what he did at the combine.
You base it on 4.5 seconds of his performance at the combine, right?
Hold on, but what about what he did in the helmet and shoulder pads? I know what he did in T-shirts and tights. He was phenomenal. But like I said, Skip, that athleticism, that ability, it didn't match the production on the field. Man, Skip, you can't have 9.5 sacks in 3 years.
Yeah.
I think he had 4 sacks, 4.5 this year. It went #1.
Off 4.5 seconds at 272 pounds. I don't get it. I don't think they got it. I think nobody else can see it. And yet, with the safety seen, I seen.
Oh yeah, he comes
in the
around.
championship game.
Yeah, you see him coming around. Yeah.
Are you like, okay, I saw it, I got it. Because to me, the tape doesn't lie. And in the end, the truth is, TV doesn't lie.
No.
Because all you need to do, that's how I watch games, is sit back and say what you see. What do you see?
Yeah.
What do your eyes tell you?
I think we are both in agreement, Skip. We're not saying the kid shouldn't have been a first rounder.
No.
But you're talking about the #1 overall, the #1 pick in the draft. Like I said, I mean, yeah, he's big, he's strong, he's physical, but I don't watch with the sound. I was like, damn, they good. Jordan Davis good. Carter, Jalen Carter, who's number 88, who's coming back. I was like, yeah, he good. But Skip, I didn't see Will Anderson. Cut the tape off from Alabama.
I agreed.
Cut the tape off from Alabama, and you'll know right away who's the best player.
I'm talking sideline to sideline.
Yes.
He is everywhere. Nose for ball, physicality. He just dominated for them.
Just imagine if this guy got 5 guys on the defensive line that they can run through, that all of them going to be first rounder. Will Anderson might not have another guy that's going to be a first rounder, and he got 16, 17 sacks, 30 tackles for losses.
You don't think he benefited from his co-stars?
Yes. That's how, Skip, you remember how Alabama defensive line, when they had Quentin Williams, they had the 2 guys and Washington, Payne and Allen. When they had all those guys, they had Jared Reed and all those guys. Yes, absolutely they benefited.
Okay. I'm going to dig in here. Just mark my words. Off my eye test of the Georgia defense repeatedly last year, Nakobe Dean was the best player I saw. And I don't care about the measure. I just care about the playmaker. As a playmaker, he was the driving force of that defense because he was Will Anderson to me.
But see, that's where they get scared because they get away from the tape. They say, oh, the tape, the eye in the sky, don't lie, eye in the sky. And then the guy goes to the combine, and he's not as tall as you thought. He's not as big. He's not as fast. Well, he can't. Well, somebody got that Buckus Award. Somehow, he did that. So you just disregard everything that you're supposed to do. You send the scouts down there. You watch the tape. And then all of a sudden, he's not 6'3". He's not 245. He can't run 4'4". Mm-hmm. Man, I don't know, Skip. I don't know if he can. What? Mm. So what you watch the tape, you might as well skip. Don't even go to the game. Just go to the combine, see who can run the fastest, who can jump the highest, and then take him.
It's a track meet.
Yes.
Right?
You play football in pads. You don't play them in T-shirts and tights.
Yep. That Karlaftis from Purdue, he fell all the way to 30 to
Kansas City.
His arms were too short. Okay, well, can he play? I don't know.
What was the arm? Skip, I can see the man's offensive tackle. Can the man play football? So did he get to somebody making them plays, Skip? That's what it comes down to. And somebody's making those plays.
What I hate for these
with a little
kids,
short arm sail.
I agree. I agree. What I hate for Trayvon Walker is he did not do this to himself.
No,
they did it.
No.
And you know and I know, if he does not